All right, folks, give me a minute. I'm going into a coughing fit. All right, let's get through this. Felt like something was attacking me. All right, let's take a look at the phone. Now, this is her phone. All right. It does look like there's moisture on it, probably snow on the leaves or frost or whatever. It's covered under leaves. So it does look like a purple case, but they're saying that that's not what it is. That due to the lighting, the moisture, the dirt, it is actually a different color. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. There is other footage of her using her phone, and it does look like a purple cover, maybe, or something on it. But the professionals are saying it's because of the light, the moisture, the dirt, the shading, all that. It appears to be purple, which that's what I said in one of my videos. But let's watch a little bit of this. I posted this guy's channel in my chat and in the description. Let's look at this, and he's going to explain why it looks different than what it really was.
In a motion filing that Libby's phone was not wet and did not have any debris on it. But in the 3 photos released by the state in a response, they clearly show the phone had dampness and debris over it. Libby's phone was covered in debris, and the lighting with the sun gives the illusion the color of the phone case is more purple. So, dirt along with the sun gives the illusion that the color is more purple than red or maroon. The video recording from the Hoosier Harvestor camera was 54 minutes off.
Holy crap. Well, we were right. We were right. The video, the time, everything was off. They're saying the video that we seen of the car was 54 minutes off. So if it said 1:30, it was actually 12 or 12:30. Right? Yeah, I would imagine so. I imagine he's leaving right now. It's already, I believe that he's already leaving. It's already done. I think everybody might have got the times mixed up, or they might be on a different time on their phones or even cameras. Uh, Even their security cameras might not have made the change uh, to the time change. So it might be very well, might possibly be that all the phones that they collected and the data might have had certain timestamps on them, because whether they had their phone set to a different time for some reason, or they were in a different time zone, right? They might have worked in Delphi but lived in a different time zone somewhere. So that makes also sense. Oh my God, I'm getting attacked by this thing. So the phone, it does appear purple, which I already did a video on that. I'm wondering if I should take the video down, because I did say it looked like it was purple, and there was other footage showing her phone which appeared to be purple. But they're saying that the light and the shading and everything and the dirt, possibly, and the moisture made it look more purplish. It's possible, right? I mean, I can see it maybe fading color if it was out there for a long time and weathered and everything. But they're actually saying that this was her phone in real life. The cover is this cover here, which is like a family crest or some kind of a crest of a country or military or whatever. So they're saying that is this her real phone, the cover she had? Because even this phone does appear slightly purplish compared to this red. Now, they could be right. The frost, the cold, the dampness, if it got wet, then it might have faded a little bit, but it did appear purple. I'm going to testify to that. It does appear purple, but they might be correct. It might, under the conditions, might have faded or lighting or whatever to make it look purple if there was shade on it or whatever. So I'm not going to contest that. What I'm saying is was that the actual cover that we're seeing on the right side of the screen with the family crest on it? Was that actually her phone cover? Is my question. So we don't know, right? Unless it is an exhibit. It might be. It might very well be. And being that it was on its back, and the only thing that was exposed was the top of it, the rim around the case, then yeah, I would say it's possible it faded a little bit and it gives the appearance of being purple. Yeah, very well possible. And as we can see, we know it was frosty and snowy that night. We know that. It was Richard said it himself. It was one day, unseasonable good weather.
Debris, and the lighting with the sun had dampness and debris over it. Libby's phone was covered in debris, and the lighting with the sun gives the illusion the color of the phone case is more purple. So, dirt along with the sun gives the illusion that color is more purple than red or maroon. The video recording from the Deer Harvestor camera was 54 minutes off, which, with old cameras, when they lose power, people just don't change and update the time. This vehicle is clearly Richard Allen's 2016 Ford Focus.
Bingo. Time on the video was wrong. So he was there earlier. I do believe he was already on his way home. So that's my opinion, folks. I'm not a professional. I don't get paid 75 grand a year to figure stuff out or 100 grand. It's just my thing. I have a disability. It's nothing. I have nothing else I can do but sit around and watch you people and learn. But and I want to thank the FBI and CIA and Homeland Security for putting out these videos to train us, and we didn't even know. We didn't even know you were training us, you idiots. They're calling me, you could be probably an investigator. No, no, we already trained you. What do you mean? All the videos you've been watching, I'm forensic evidence and all this stuff. And what's shocking is these people can't figure out, they think the case should be thrown out because they had to fire the weapon. They don't even realize that before all this new technology and DNA and everything, and that was what they did. They fired the weapon. It was the only way to get 100% accurate ejection marks, barreling, and firing pin. And that's the way they did it. And some of these big time YouTubers this is junk science. This is junk science. I'm like, what did they do before DNA and ballistics? They fired the weapon. It gave them all three in one shot. It gave him the casing, ejection marks, and the rifling on the bullet. I don't understand these people. Did these people go to college? I'm not sure. But there's for some reason these people are fighting us that he's one of them. Right? Good God. I do think they all were connected. They don't want to see it. They thought you were trained with blinders. It was impossible. Nothing is impossible. We've seen many cases that were twice, three, four times as bloody as what we're seeing at Delphi, and not one piece of DNA was left behind. And them cases were solved. Now, you folks have a great day. The phone, the infamous phone. Does anybody know actually what kind of phone it was? Was it a Samsung, a Galaxy, or well, them are the same thing, right? Android. What the heck phone was it? Whose phone was it? It was Libby's. Now, I'm going to tell you this much. Richard Allen must have been so excited if he's the guilty one. He must have been so excited of what he did. And what does that tell you? Well, that tells you this much. Richard Allen was watching the case. And why is that, Mr. Johnny Kramer? Well, sir, if I might tell you. Well, that puts a crimp in the whole thing. And why do I say that? Well, the time was off. 54 minutes, they're saying that the camera wasn't. They never changed the time. Once it had a power outage or anything like that, the time never changed. So the video time on this is wrong. It wasn't 1:30 or 1 o'clock, 1:30. It must have been behind. It was fast. Does that make sense? So he ain't getting there at 1:30. He's leaving at 12:30. He must have been so excited he forgot the phone totally. If he was such a genius, such a madman, he would have took the phone with him and got rid of the phone. He had to have known they were being filmed. Come on, folks. Either he played it off like he was a friend, or he knew them, or something, or very well took them, did whatever, and then dropped the bodies back off or whatever. And he's leaving. It makes sense. Weren't they somewhere before this or something? The library? Did he pick? I don't know. Did someone pick the girls up? The whole story was messed up in the Delphi case, folks. How does he do this? Well, the only thing I can think of is he wasn't going to park right now. The easy way, the way he knew that there'd be no cameras, and he would have felt comfortable, and it was the easiest way to get out of there. If he had to take the girls, he couldn't take the girls. If he kidnapped them, he couldn't have taken the girls past people. Right? If they're passing people, the girls would have screamed out, "This guy's trying to kidnap us. He's trying to kill us." So he had to do this under darkness, under shadow, under where no one would see him. Where's the best place? The cemetery. The cemetery. He felt comfortable there. There's some videos out there that I heard his friends said that he used to go fishing in that area. He used to park in the cemetery and walk down and park right or fish right off that bend, which makes sense, right? They like to hide on them bends and everything. And that's where felt comfortable. He probably knew nobody ever went down there, couldn't see. He kidnaps the girls, uh, and he's driving around in a car. Maybe that's where that photo came of them in a car, possibly. Whose car was it? I don't know. Uh, he does whatever. He brings the girls back, dumps the body in the phone. Same place he went in at the cemetery. Easy, quickest way to get rid of the bodies. Uh, he pulls in the cemetery, gets out of his vehicle. He takes the trail that runs down the river around right where the bridge starts. There used to be a trail there. Right? There was a bench there also. He sits down. Three girls see him. He sees three girls. Right? They supposedly, the story is, one broke away and it was just the two girls left on the bridge. Right? Either that or there was someone else there. There was only other one person that sus to that. I think we all know who. But one leaves and leaves the two girls. Right? He's sitting on the bench. He came in from the cemetery, walked around. He ain't wet yet, and his clothes don't look wet yet. So he's sitting on the bench right before the bridge. He sees the girls go down. The one girl breaks away and leaves. He heads down the bridge, stops them at the one side, brings them over across the creek to his car, and they leave. He takes them somewhere, does whatever, brings them back. Now, whether it's before the murders occurred or after the search was called off, one of the two. And they did bring up the shack, meaning there was a shack involved or somewhere that possibly the police thought that they took, because it's possible these people that did the search were telling the truth and the girls weren't there when they did the original search. This is a crazy case. I mean, many scenarios, many theories, and not one of them bad. Not one of them bad. And all these YouTubers have one thing in common, and that's at least they're thinking and have theories. And in 2025, anything is possible with our technology. So, my opinion, he's already done. He's out of there. The girls could possibly be in the vehicle right now. As he drives by, them two girls could be in that vehicle right there, right now. He goes, he knows his wife ain't home knowing. He goes to his house, does whatever, brings them back, pulls into the cemetery, tells him he's not going to kill him, whatever, brings them down there, and he kills them. He jumps in his car, and he's leaving. He's taking them a long way home. Maybe trying to get rid of evidence, maybe trying to clean himself off. Now, could he have done this and not get a lot of blood on him? Yes. If he stood behind him and attacked him from the front, he would have stepped back after he did the puncture or slicing. If anything, he would have had just blood on his hands, and he would have walked down to the creek and washed his hands on. Something ain't adding up. For this crime to happen, he must have had plenty of time. Someone's lying about the time. In order to do this, you're going to need some time. So, in fact, something ain't right with this whole case. Either them girls were there and they missed them at the search, or this guy had plenty of time to do all this. And I'm talking manipulate the video, possibly create video, do whatever And if they didn't, and if they had, from the time the girls got dropped off there, if that's true, what time they got dropped off there, until they found the girls, he had plenty of time. Him or whoever helped him, his associate or whatever. But yeah, something ain't right. Maybe we were lied to by the police, and they're allowed to lie. And Richard Allen is allowed to lie. People can't figure that out. He said he wasn't there. You think he's going to say he was? He did. Okay. Is he going to confess to it when he knows they want him for it? They're onto him. He ain't going to tell them the truth. He's going to lie because he knows they think he's a suspect. So now he's going to tell them whatever. Yeah, I parked there. When they're saying, this is your vehicle and you passed there. Where did you park? Right? He already knows. They think why? Because he was watching the case, the info on it. So he's going to tell them, yeah, I parked there. Right? That's me. That's my vehicle. I parked there. I was there that day on, but I didn't see the girls. Right? You asked me for info. He knew they were on to him, and after that, it was just all a lie. I do believe after he realized that they were questioning him like he was the guy, everything after that was a lie. Complete lie. He already knew the information they had, and he just went along with it. He wasn't going to tell them exactly what happened, where he parked, what he did, if they didn't know. Right? He might come out and say, I didn't even park there, you idiots. That's how much you know. Right? Did anybody actually see a photo of him parked on the side of the building? Nope. The photo you were looking at was that vehicle parked at the CVS building. Right? Yeah. I think a couple of them photos were actually, might have been the police station or something. There was no photos of any evidence that he parked on the side of that building or that his vehicle was even seen there. We know the police can lie in their investigation. But like I said, so can Richard Allen. And especially when he figured out uh, they were on to him. Right? No, like I said, the ball's in Richard Allen's court. If he had, and even like I told people when he first confessed, uh, he confessed even after he was on his meds and time had passed and he was in his own mind, he still continued to confess. He wanted to get it off his chest. He found God, and you know, yeah, and he did change his hair pattern at the time of the murders. I do believe he had curly top hair, and after the murders, he shaved his head, changed his height on his fishing record and weight, and the lies began. It just the dead giveaway to me was, yo, Miss Debbie, how you doing? The dead giveaway to me was the uh, interrogation when his wife came in. You told me you weren't there that day, and then he said something. And then she says, "Well, you told me you weren't on the bridge." And he kept after both times he said, "Yes, I did tell you. You must not remember." And she said, "No, you didn't." Right? They're questioning me like I have something to do with this also. So yeah, Yeah. Now, like I said, anything's possible. Richard Allen claims his wife had the car that day. Well, someone's doing something. Somebody's playing dirty pool. Well, either Richard Allen had that vehicle or his wife had that vehicle. One of the two. And for all of these people saying, well, somebody must have had a vehicle like that. Okay, you want to play that route? We'll go right to the production line of the car dealers. We'll get every single VIN of a Ford Focus hatchback and we'll run the VINs on it of black, what was sold in this area or anywhere, the Carfax on it, and we'll pinpoint exactly where every single Ford Focus, whether it's a limited edition, special limited edition, which that vehicle might have been, and it'll tell you every single person in America in every single vehicle in this country that is a Ford Focus hatchback. And we'll solve the case that way. These people, some of them don't understand the power of technology now these days. Every car sold is record, VIN number is putting into a computer right off the factory line. So keep that in mind. That's the power of our justice system now. As you're producing them cars, we're taking the VINs and putting them into the computer. That's how powerful it's become. So, now they're saying 54 minutes on this camera. 54 minutes fast. So if it was 1:30, it was actually 12:30. Maybe even, how do they know it was even 54 minutes? It could have been even more faster. If the power went out and they didn't reset the clock, it would remain the same. It could have been an hour and a half fast. If that's the case, he was already there when the girls got dropped off waiting. And the phone data might have proved he was using one of the counts and going to meet the girls there. Or one of these guys were connected and Richard Allen knew the girls were going to be there. He was already there waiting. He's seen the girls as they came. He took his thing. He did whatever, whether he crossed the creek and kidnapped and took the girls away, or he did the job right there after he got done doing sick stuff to him. Did he have plenty of time? Either way, yes. And more so if someone was assisting them to keep the girls calm. Because what are we seeing in this trafficking business? These women that are kidnapped for sex or sick stuff feel more comfortable with a woman around. And that's how they make either the sale, the trade, whatever. Does that make sense to anybody? I don't know. Who did it? Richard or Richard's wife? Which one? Now, a lot of people say, boy, Richard Allen, he really loves his wife. Now, whether that's being sarcastic because they're like, hey, it was Richard's wife and someone else. They tried to set him up, which is possible. It's very possible. Now, which one is it? Richard or his wife? Or both? Or was it the family and they set Richard Allen up? They seen an opportunity. that the girls were talking to this model guy or whoever using that account, and the family was in a bind, and maybe something like some of these people are saying happened, and the girls had to go. They were off. The phone was left with proof of them talking to this guy, and the whole thing was set up. All I know is I need protection out here in Indiana. There certainly is more than corn in Indiana. Miss Debbie Fox says both, and that's very positive, little Debs. She might be right. She definitely might be right. You very well could be both. She might not have gone to work that day or might have only had to go in for a certain amount of time. Maybe they did this on their lunch break. I don't know. Very crazy. All right, folks, I'm going to end this video. I'm charging this phone, and I'm going to go, and hopefully the tarp is still over the water tower. Let me see. Living out some sick fantasy. Right, Debbie? Yes. 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 Now, I can see adults doing this stuff, kinky stuff or whatever. But the kids stuff, something ain't right. Something ain't right. And I do believe the police did have the right to think there was many involved, or even a woman, that something fishy was going on. And everybody know, it was 1:30, 1:30, 1:30. Nope, because the clock was 54 minutes fast. Therefore, it was 12, 12:30. Depending on what, if it was ahead or behind an hour. I don't know. I'm guessing it was fast. And there was the time change. So, yeah. Yeah, something is fishy. Richard didn't have the car that day. His wife did. Well, then bingo. That's why they were questioning your wife, Richard, is because your wife had the car. Is she crazy enough to do something like this, Richard? Set you up? Is what I would be asking him if I was running the show for him. What is your real relationship at home, right? If you were driving your wife crazy and a madman, okay. But if you didn't do the murders, is your wife capable of doing this? Is what I would have been asking them. That's what I would ask them. Right? You're saying it's not you. You didn't have the vehicle. You were there, but you were there in your truck, not the vehicle. Your wife had the vehicle that day because you switched vehicles once you came back, because you bought the vehicle to get good gas mileage because you were traveling far. But once you came back and got hired into town, and you drove the truck, she drove the Focus, and you didn't have the vehicle that day. You don't know how this happened. You don't know anything. Your bullet, how did it end up there? I would be suggesting, is how crazy is your wife, Richard? How crazy did you drive her? Is this, we don't give a crap. We're here to get you off of this murder. If you didn't do it, you didn't do it. But now you got to paint a picture for me to go up against the state that your wife's cuckooer than a Cocoa Puff. And she set you up, which maybe somebody she's banging on the side. But you don't want me in that courtroom. You don't want me in that courtroom, because I know the first thing they're going to say to me, Mr. Kramer, you're out of order. And once they say that to me, I'm going to say, Judge, I'm out of order. This whole courtroom's out of order. This whole world's out of order. And I think I'll just go ahead and plead the fifth. And then I would have walked out. You solved the case, Richard, yourself. Someone did something and someone ain't being honest, or they got the whole time pattern of the case is completely 60 minutes or 50 minutes, 54 minutes fast. So we're looking at a lot earlier time. We're looking at, if it's that early, then the food in their stomach from breakfast that they had probably didn't even make it into the small intestine. So this would all have been in the autopsy. It takes 4 to 6 hours for food to leave the stomach and start entering the digestive system. So somebody ain't doing something right, or something just ain't right. And like I said, if it's a setup, then somebody knew. Richard, were you? I'd be telling. Did you have that account? If Richard said yes, okay, you had that account. You were talking to the girls, right? Yes. Right. Did you do anything other than that? Were you there that day? I was there, but I didn't kill the girls. All right. Well, they got your bullet. They got your photo. Uh, right. Uh, were you there that day? And what vehicle were you driving? Right. If he he was driving his truck. He didn't park there. He parked down here. He did the, yada, 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 whatever. Someone did it. Someone's lying somewhere down the road. Now, you folks have a great day. And I'd be thinking, Mr. Richard Allen, who had it out for you that bad? Or was your relationship a lie also? And it was actually a zoo of madness. And you might have drove your wife crazy, or she might have got sick of you. Did you let her know that you had health insurance on her? That's my question. Did you know, or did she know, you had life insurance where she would have made all kinds of money? Well, what am I getting at? What are you getting at, Mr. Kramer? Well, Judge, I'm saying if she knew, she would be rich without Mr. Richard Allen in her life. And if he suddenly maybe was killed because he was set up in a crime and they'd kill him, therefore she'd be a rich lady. Well, maybe it is possible someone did something to set somebody up. Motive. What's behind motives? Well, disgusting stuff and money. Now, you ladies and gentlemen didn't hear that from me, and I want to thank all you fine folks for watching and spamming me and streaming me and all the views coming in. God bless you all. And remember, on this channel, anything is possible in a murder case. Not only one, but many. God bless America. All glory goes to God. Amen. Thank Debbie Fox for showing up. And Debbie said they were living out a sick fantasy, and it very well could be true. No, you folks have a great afternoon. I'll be back.